Oke, udah dimulai ya. Kita bakal lihat pertandingan BLG melawan DRX. Let's go.
How does it feel being the villain?
Honestly, I don't give a.
谁？
我都可以很友善，但是在赛场上我就要释放出我的内场劲。我不仅是为了我自己，也是为了我的队友。所以说，我在赛场上，我把所有东西都视为敌人。Even though we do talk a lot of mess online and socials, I think down deep with all of us, we are still like the kids that are playing video games and just having a good time.
我觉得现在大家伙5个人到现在大家也都挺不容易的，然后这次比赛也是，我也感觉到5个兄弟们一条心。
The Chinese region is crazy though. Their playstyle is so like in your face.
I ain't got worries or concern.
希望你们不要像巨人一样，因为我们是一支被高估的队伍。
3, 2, 1, 이제
그때는 이제 19살에 좀 마음도 여리고 조금 부족한 게 많았던 버즈였는데 지금 되돌아왔을 때 이제 그때 맞았던 매들이나 이제 들었던 소리들이 다 이제 뼈가 되고 살이 되는 느낌이고
모든 팀이 다 힘들 거라고 생각해.
뭔가 다크호스가 좀 있지 않을까. 因为他肯定是要有，作为一名选手是一定要有可以击败对方的信心。如果连这点信心都没有，那就最好不要当选手。我觉得1次可以说是幸运，2次如果也要说成幸运的话，有点太过于就是很口舌之快了。
저희 팀원들이 제가 보기엔 이번 챔피언스에서 진짜 무조건 1등이어가지고 사실 저는 매우 자신 있습니다. 그때는 이제 형들이 저의 버팀목이 되어줬는데 이제는 제가 형들의 버팀목이 되어줄 수도 있다라는 그런 자신감도 생겼고 저는 아주 준비되어 있습니다. 아주 그냥 어떤 팀이든 만나서 밟아줄 준비가 있습니다.
想对 DX 说的就是，马上就把你送去败者组和一起争国家的篮球。
Your seed for this matchup is going to be
Oke,
DRX.
ini
So you
pemilihan
choose Team
map
A or Team
dari
B?
kedua tim.
Team B. So BLG, you will be Team A. We'll start with your first ban.
Fracture.
Fracture, your ban.
Then bind.
They ban Bind and BLG, map number 1.
Lotus.
Lotus, side on Lotus.
Attack.
Attack, and map number 2.
Pick Haven.
Haven, side on Haven.
Defense.
Defense, okay, next set of bans, starting with BLG, you have Ascent, Pearl, and Split. Split. So they ban Split, your ban, you have Ascent and Pearl.
Ban Ascent.
Ban Ascent. So map number 3 is going to be Pearl, BLG, side on Pearl.
Defense.
Defense. Okay, let's run back through this. First set of bans, we have BLG with Fracture, DRX with Bind. Map number 1 is Lotus with DRX on attack. Map number 2 is Haven with BLG on defense. Next set of bans are Split and Ascent. Map number 3 decider is Pearl with BLG on defense. Good luck to you both.
Let's go. Pilih. Let's go. DRX.
DRX DRX may be the fan favorite here. They may have dominated Asia for a very long time, but their opponents, Bilibili Gaming, are looking to assert the kings and assert themselves as the new leaders in this region. And let's see how this all boils down as Bilibili and DRX take the stage.
No one thought Bilibili would make it out of groups. No one thought that they would beat NRG once, much less twice. But now they're into the playoffs. They have an opportunity to not just prove that they can make it to a global playoffs, but to maybe go on a run. For DRX though, they finally gotten their roster in order. They're back to defining the style, to innovating with new compositions. It feels like the DRX that we've been missing for the last 2 global events.
It really does, but somebody is missing right now here for DRX, worth pointing out, as we didn't see him in the walkout. Mako is playing from isolation. How is that going to affect the team? And the communication isn't going to be as clean, not having him there as that pillar on the stage. We'll have to just wait and see.
But if there's one thing about Mako, it's his consistency. This guy has been a beast at every global event, and he's continued that performance here. In the late rounds, he is constantly saving DRX, even when it looks impossible.
Yeah, that is, of course, the hope here that DRX has, and that a player like Mako, as consistent as they are, they don't have a bad game, but hey, if you force him, if you maybe force his hand in a different direction, Bilibili could very well do that and can create some frustration inside of the DRX camp, Achilleos, which would be quite problematic for them in this series. It's an emotional team.
It very well could be, and yeah, they can be emotional. You see Mako there on screen now, but I mean, we've seen time and time again, Stacks on camera getting frustrated when those round losses do come through. If Bilibili are able to whittle away that mentality, it could very much break them and get them a map win.
And simply on the other hand, Billy is gaming. I mean, they're just here. They're having fun. They didn't expect to make it this far. They're trying to learn and make the most of this opportunity. And the veto starts us off on Lotus, which I'm a little surprised by. I expected Billy to want to go towards split. But as we see in the Prime Gaming Agent select, it's a mirror matchup between these 2 teams. They're both running the Fnatic comp with the Omen variant that has been so popular on this map.
Fascinating to see how this is actually going to play out. Mirror compositions always really just boil down to who's got the better ideas, who's got the out-aiming potentially here. And I think Achilleos, as we look at this, I mean, I kind of give the edge a little bit to DRX simply just because of that experience on stage.
Sure, and they've been showing that their Lotus is getting better and better, but again, the big thing for me is it's going to come down to these attacking sides, those raises, Buzz versus YZ, who is going to be able to break through the ranks on the defending side, who can get that entry power, and who can look the strongest.
On this defensive side, I'm watching for Bilibili's Flood retakes. They're really good at comboing their utility and setting YZ up to retake these sites so quickly. We'll have to see if he has another incredible game or if DRX has what it takes to go on another playoff run.
We will see, but we're ready for our first map of the day, so let's get this show on the road and send it over to your casters. It's Doug and Balla.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. The crowd's already fired up, and for good reason, Balla. We've got a matchup where nobody really expected this, and I think a lot of people still don't really know what to expect out of Bilibili.
Yeah, after that 2 series wins in a row against NRG, this team has taken the world by storm, and now in playoffs, this is their first time at an international event, at a global event, and they're in playoffs against one of the most storied teams in DRX at these global events. So consistent over all the years.
The mad thing is, when we think about Bilibili and their run up until this point, is they've already claimed 1 name, right? They've taken down NRG twice, but that is the only team they've beat. Mind you, they also had to dance with Fnatic.
Pilihan Bilibili di
Really
Lotus.
dreadful for almost anybody else playing in the field, but they've done it once. Can they do it again? Starting off on the defensive side, DRX, given all the conversations around compositions, rosters, they finally settled in, and it seems to be working quite nicely.
And right away on this pistol round, you can see DRX very, very slow, controlled, trying to understand which style of Bilibili they're going to get, because these 2 teams are familiar with each other. They scrim a lot over in Pacific.
Wah, keculik sih ini.
And Bilibili can be a team that instantly can frustrate you with the pace that they throw at you, with the weapons they choose.
It's just so difficult to prep against. We saw how Cost fits against NRG in the past. Can DRX handle it just a bit better? Slow start to the round. They're all leaning towards A. The turret, making sure there's no flank.
Oh, 4 tuh. Langsung sih pada balik sih ini.
Getting forced back into this A site right now. DRX has done it with no util at all. Only the cycling of that Viper wall. And that denies so much info for Bilibili. They just walked past the one-way at the perfect time. Took all that space, and it's caused 4 people to be over here. Rin, first target.
Ice masih ada Rin.
And he knows now that
Dengan
it's going to be
killjoy-nya,
towards
dengan ada nano
this C set. You
swarm-nya.
saw the fade.
Oke, bakal dipus aja nih.
Defensive side. It's really just K-Knight who's waiting.
Waduh, Rin.
You see the dump of utility, the
Pojok ya,
nanos, the
terpojok.
nade on the other side. They're going to get vulnerable if they try to push through that smoke.
Oke, Rin dapat
They're
satu.
gonna walk right into Rin's
Mundur
crosshair.
aja.
28 HP still alive though. The spike hasn't made its way out. There are only 10 seconds left.
kebe,
The
kebe.
turret's going to provide a little bit of
Iya,
cover.
kosong,
The
iya,
door is
kosong.
dropped. I don't know that they're going to make it out. It's going to be a
Buset.
flood out onto the site. And there are a couple of members already close by. Why does he take Sierra Buzz? I don't know that the spike is going to go down in time. Just barely
Waduh,
does.
ini.
But all of
DRX mau
DRX
kemana,
drop.
cuy? Wah,
And despite the early success, I would say, from DRX there,
susah sih. Lotus nih susah banget, cuy. Mapnya.
to indecision in the final moments of the pistol round. We saw how effective and important these rounds were yesterday. And now again, Billy. I mean, great job from them. By the way, that KJ, Molly, and the Viper Orb, full fuel for them to be able to keep that up. Completely denies DRX from actually entering in. Big mistake there for DRX.
baru round 1. Jangan
This
dulu
one round in,
pusing,
we're seeing
santai.
Stacks put his face in his hands, but you know the desk was talking about how emotional a team it can be and how that often is one of the keys to their success. So we'll see how things continue to play out. DRX not opting to buy very much into this. You got to share it against Barbie. A goes for Stacks and Mako, and then just Classics the rest of the way.
I like that from Zest, though, looking early to break the haunt. That gets thrown out from Bianc. Doesn't actually
Oke,
come in
bakal
that
dibajuin
direction.
aja
Now
nih
he just has to
sama
play for
Billy.
the space spot.
Dapat
Get punished
sih,
here. If
tiap
they
kali
just follow
kalah
up, there's
round
only
2
one player
Billy.
nearby.
RB's coming by to help.
It's a good cross. You can't really push much more into that if you're Billy without extra support or util. Not knowing what could peek you from the C side either, there's a triple possible.
Oke, change-nya masih ada nahan 2 orang.
So many things to consider, but DRX taking the space that's been given to them. Starting lead
Dapat
towards
nih,
C.
dapat nih Rin.
And look
Ih,
at
balik
Rin
lagi
just on the other
anjir,
side
tipis
of the
banget gila.
There, actually, the smoke that
Wah,
K-Knight
masa
is
sih
throwing
mau
down
ke B
is
lagi?
a lot of a gap into that site. That's why DRX uses it to look to break mollies. But Rin is playing an
dapat
off
satu.
angle into his molly
Dapat
forward.
2, Urin dapat 2.
Anybody who comes through is just going to get barrel stuff. That's really nicely done. Good details there from Billy.
Oh, dapat.
So
4.
difficult.
What the fuck?
It's an ace from Rin.
What?
BLG
Rin
already
S.
riding the high.
Buset. What?
And you see just how oppressive that
Tidak
Killjoy
masuk
and Viper
akal.
combo can be
Yep.
on C when you're trying to play through that. You've got
Gokil.
you've got nanos at your feet. You've got Viper
Wah,
spits
gila.
you've got to try to funnel out with. It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's a very basic, simple
2
details here
palang.
that lead to this. Then masterful shots
Anjing,
from
cool
Rin.
banget.
For me, Billy in their entire roster, Rin against NRG was the guy who was keeping that game even close in terms of mistakes that he was making. But they're just the fundamentals coming through on that
Anjir,
KJ.
gokil banget cuy.
Phenomenal stuff from him.
Rin, gila cool
Really
banget
nice
Rin.
opportunity here for BLG if they're able to convert this round to set up very nice financially. Once again, this triple push towards Maen. A lot of presence here. Oh, this time there's a paranoia wrinkled in. They're going to push him right off that angle.
A lot of times this could
Oke,
force
balik aja pada
these
balik
attackers to go
tinggal.
really fast into the C side or the B side, react into it.
Sure.
But Billy is trying to bait that sort of reaction out, and DRX is having none of it. Still wanting to go slow. Nanoswarm
RB.
pop to try to break the alarm bot, but Wisey is here to defend.
I mean, he's more than here. He's starting to push up a little bit forward,
look at
too.
that.
Ayo dapat lah.
RB, are you aware that turret's going to help?
Oke,
They've
munduran,
already broken
munduran.
all the KJ setup right now. Sure, the turret's on a cooldown and can come back at the end of the round, but alarm bot from RB pressured, and that's making Stacks have to spend prowlers on the other side of the map when they need him for this execute.
Once again, heading back towards
Pecah lagi,
one
anjir.
of the nanos, and there it is again. It's so difficult to get through this. Buzz is melted.
Aduh,
No
Bas
entry
mati
into the
lagi.
site. And then you've got the molly out from Yosemite. This is just
Rin
so
dapat
clean
2.
from Billy. DRX not finding
Oh,
any room
nice
to breathe,
banget
any
cover
space
dari
to work.
WAZ. Nice
another
banget,
disaster.
gila.
The bonus in
Lu mau
full
nge-push
effect for
cek.
BLG.
Aduh, susah deh.
They're getting choked out here
DRX.
on this C side, and that's 3 attempts now at it. You've got to start recognizing you need more pressure on that side early in order to get some of that fuel down, in order to get that molly down. Funny enough, the goals that DRX is having right now to break some of that util from the KJ on B side actually Billy on the defense is having more success with. It's really nice game plan out of these two teams.
I mean, it certainly helps when you only have one member on your team that's died. Rin is 9-0 right now. A clean bill of health from almost everyone.
Fast push now for DRX on this eco. Remember, they lost that bonus, so huge cascade of rounds possible here from Billy. But taking this A control is normally a goal for a lot of teams very early, but I think that fear that it felt like they were playing with in the first 2 rounds, at least what they decided on for their own game plan, is limiting them in this access.
Tawan satu. Wazi mundur aja, mundur rame cek.
Oh, there was a little bit of help. I didn't see K-Knight there, but the Sheriffs from DRX keeping him down for now.
Now that's important here for Bianca to actually try to defend these weapons.
Jangan sampai musuhnya dapat jatah
he
ini.
can do nothing for it. Just going to try to use the timing right there to see if he can catch somebody going for it late.
He's got a haunt. I mean, still full utility.
There's a push coming from the door too. Yosemite.
They've got a nice pinch here. Only one weapon has been upgraded so far, and that instantly finds value. But
let's go, Bianca!
Is gorgeous.
Let's
all
go.
Free fall as BLG get another.
Gila, let's go.
And it's the first real success from DRX, instantly snuffed
out.
Sudah pasti. A timeout because of it too. Yeah, you got to get on the same page here.
Mereka udah bingung.
Just think about this on the other side. Billy is completely on the same page. You see Bianca getting these kills, but at the same time too, you had Yosemite coming in through the breakable door, and Rin was involved as well. All 3 players alive, getting involved in that final fight. Beautiful stuff.
Nice. Billy.
Just consistently have to commend these guys over and over for the level of Valorant that they are showing. Despite sometimes, and I know a lot of people trying to criticize them in that NRG game for looking a little chaotic, looking like they're relying on the whimsy and not their fundamentals. But in my mind, this team has shown so many different levels of their ability.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of depth to how they play, but then also, I mean, I think it's a fair question that has to be asked at this point. While I know it's early, if the whimsy works, and if the whimsy consistently works, and you have depth to other things in your game plan that allow you to play with a little bit of whimsy, you can still throw curveballs at what's on the other side of the stage. I mean, why not?
Yeah, 100%.
Harusnya ya bisa dapat satu run.
Right now, it's just full depth, and that's causing DRX. I mean, they need to think about how to approach this a little bit better. That C site needs to be pressured a lot more. They need to get that util out from Rin. They need to potentially even rotate him off of that site. And then they need to be decisive when they're hitting. Try to get in those timings when that fuel is low from Yosemite.
A 10-0 start for Rin. A Killjoy's dream, to be honest.
Just so good. And now they have to deal with YZ's op coming online. Aggressive already. Buzz here.
So far ahead.
Should have heard the TP.
He's so far ahead. The Prowler in his face. He's got to try to get away. Manages to survive without taking any damages. You see a second one come through as he tucks behind, tries to land the shot. But Buzz from up top with the nade is just too much.
And important here, Rin does not have a second molly. Wants to use it to try to get YZ in position.
He does have a lockdown though. And honestly, with the way he's been playing, he might be all right anyway. DRX still feeling some of the pressure. They've got what they wanted. They took down the op. They took down YZ. They want to flip the map.
And they do have Buzz as showstopper now. His rocket could help take a lot of space here, but with Yosemite and Bianca, needs to be well considered.
They've got to be careful though. I think if they push Yosemite here, there's not much room for him to help. He's got to play his life very dangerously, or he just pushes forward, gets haunted, and gets a kill on the stacks.
C's comes in to delay as well, so DRX still not making their way in through Maen. They're going into Rin.
Oh, right back into Rin, you're right. Rin finally dying at the hands of Buzz. The B side open, the spike planted, and DRX in control for what feels like the first time, really, all map. K-Knight pushing forward, Buzz with 3 on the round, looking for the 4th. Yosemite on the counter, though. They're going to claw their way back into this thing. Mako's left alone in a 1v2. Has to make something happen in a situation like this. It's been dire, it's been ugly, and it's not getting any better. Yosemite gets a 3rd as BLG gets a 5.
Gila, gokil.
Where is DRX right now? That was a 1 round. When they started hitting that B side, it felt like a 1 round. And then all of a sudden it turns so fast. They got the first kill on YZ. They got success in terms of map control. Just the final hurdle, they don't use that ult. They don't use the tools that they had in that to be able to push through. And they're again Billy is causing fits with all the util. Everything is precise, perfect.
I got their omen.
That C's delayed for so long, for Yosemite to stay alive for so long, and that actually caused them to pivot into the B site where, again, you have players ready for it.
Precise, perfect, and honestly problematic for DRX.
Masih main seperti biasa ya.
And all the questions about, well, maybe it was just, you know, whimsy, as you were saying against NRG. Can they do it here? You're right, Ball. They're showing a different flavor of Valorant towards DRX, and they don't like how it tastes.
No, in the first series against NRG, it was Judge. That was the story. It was like, oh my God,
baru
License
sih
is
di
crazy with the Judge.
Dibantai
The other
gini
team.
5-0.
In their second series, not at all. There's very
Biasanya kan
little
dia yang
elements of that
bantai.
in terms of the clutches. Sure, it was tilting, but that was it. Here comes Buzz.
Buset, menang
Why is he gets to kill himself?
Aduh,
What the heck happened there? Why is he already with 2? The spike out of reach. The round is done. I don't know how they get into this.
Anjir.
It's a nookie dodge up high. Buzz was so high, too. Couldn't get a hold on that rocket.
YZ's got
Anjir,
3 on the
YZ dapat
round.
3. Wow, mau S kah
Perhaps
dia?
another ace on the cards. YZ
Oh,
with
pengen
4.
S dia.
The ace on the other side.
Anjir.
Delivers once more.
Dapat S.
2
Wah,
rounds
gila.
out of 6. We've had aces by Billy.
Buat satu tim
And Seru.
Polere 2 kali S anjir. Beda-beda
Rounds for
lagi.
DRX thus far.
Wah, anjir
If you wanted a
YZ benar-benar.
bloodbath, you got it. This Lotus is looking phenomenal from Billy right now. Looking like nothing can stop them. Looking like multiple players
Dikira stack bakal ada yang
can
nge-flank.
step up at any point.
Gila, gokil.
What do DRX do from here? The buy is less than ideal. A Guardian and a Bulldog for Zest. And then just pistols. They have failed to find success with some of their ultimates. I think again about Buzz's previous round and how YZ got the best of them, but this time not the case.
Low sih itu, Buzz.
They've gotten first kills on these eco rounds before, but nothing to be able to capitalize on anything here. YZ again falling, but this time the gun way deep, very safe. They're not going to be able to recover it. They're going to have to use what they have. And that's a lot of space, a lot of control. They're still behind the Viper wall, sure, but lockdown, there's tools here still. And RB potentially can get a really late lurk if they do opt to go into this A side.
Just juga udah ada.
I think the question too is how patient is Ren. As Bianca falls on the opposite side of the map, you feel the rotations having to come through. Knight's in a really good spot, and of course, K-Knight gets 2. Repositioning on the 3rd. Not able to land, but Yosemite does.
30 seconds.
They've somehow gotten this back to a 2v2. I don't understand. I don't understand how they're going to do it again. It just makes no sense.
And once again, DRX scratching their heads. 2 early kills. This is a knife the wall. He only has a sheriff. He has to die here. He already has his lockdown. So honestly, the Billy players might keep him alive.
That's just more fun. That's just more fun. Yosemite with 3, DRX still fat goose egg on the scoreboard.
This is crazy.
Sumpah,
And we are entering the series in another situation where people are still doubting Billy. Yes, they've only played against one team in NRG and got success against them. But here they are against the doubters, 7-0 up right now. Unfathomable.
And a furrowed brow for the IGL of DRX. He's the one who has to figure out what the heck do they do in the face of this. They have 4 ultimates to work with this time. Maybe that's the key.
It's a tough decision too. Like at this point, you probably want to start thinking about a second timeout before this gets completely out of hand.
Is it not already? Because I mean, if you invest that here, you're dry the rest of the map. Termi has already called 1.
Face your fear.
Nightfall through, Buzz satcheling forward. They've created some space. What do they do with it? You see K-Knight is already ulted to join the defenses of Billy. They're already all here.
This might be the first plant of the game for DRX right now.
Yeah, you may be right. Or maybe the pistol where
the pistol where they barely got it. Felt like the round was already over. This time, plenty of tools. The lockdown. They've got the pit too if they need to. Won't invest it here.
Note here, Bianca 1 point away from having the nightfall.
Waduh, dapat
But
satu
Mako,
nih poin.
from a distance, keeping them back.
Buset, kena gue sih.
At least attempting to. YZ detained. He's got to take a step back. You see the pit now in play. K-Knight pushing forward, trying to find anything that he can claim.
Langsung dicari coy.
Really, nothing's going to be found, but they brought enough time for him to get back online. Bianca's going to be on the tap, Stacks dropping
dapat
first.
sini poin.
And nothing going to happen. I thought for a moment maybe they get to half and something happens, but
Nice,
DRX
DRX.
finally cauterize the bleeding and get on the board.
Akhirnya dapat poin.
All it took
juga
there was
di
a fast
RX.
round, and Rin gives up that C site.
Well, it took a fast round. It took, what, 3 ultimates?
Yes.
4 ultimates, something like that?
Absolutely.
And
But in terms of the early success, being able to get on site, which is where they've struggled so much.
Yeah, I think the other thing we have to consider here is it was a different defensive setup from Rin. He didn't have his typical Molly setup and Nano setup that we'd seen in the previous rounds.
Yeah.
So Buzz was able to satchel out and create some space.
I think a big wow, a timeout from Billy. Up 7-1.
Gila langsung time out coy.
But I think the reason for that is because he's had such success. You can start to cheat. You can start to do things that gets you extra value elsewhere.
Dikasih round 1, 2
And for Rin, he might have been thinking the B side. I'm not exactly sure where his setup was, but either way, DRX is able to capitalize, and now they start to have to deal with the same things that they were all series long so far. 7-1 again. Mind blown. This is a team that is stepping onto the global stage for the first time, stepping into the global playoff stage for the first time. And they're doing this. It's about time we stop doubting.
DRX, buset.
Perhaps that one round and the cheers from the crowd is enough for DRX to make a run at this. It's been an abysmal start for them so far on Lotus. But somehow, through the disaster, there's an opportunity to stabilize and convert.
Gila Rin dapat satu.
Rin is just on a heater, man.
He's been so good. They're going to try to go fast in it again. Nade lands on him, but this time he gets the early kill, so if he falls off... Oh!
Another Molly kill.
Traded there.
They finally both fall, and this time the rotations are a little late, but it's not because they weren't proactive, it's because they're flanking through spawn.
I don't think that turret was up right now, so this double flank could be huge.
The Nightfall, funneling them right into BLG's lap once more. YZ with the showstopper connects onto Buzz.
Gila.
The 3K and the ace for Billy.
It's perfect. Right away. Out of Billy. They follow up on what was successful for DRX, and they figure out, let's just push this A site instantly. And when you start to get those kills coming in from Rin, when you start to get that Molly traded, yes, it's a 3v3 once you get the site, but that forces RB to come on over and give up the turret. Nightfall pushes them into the flank. It's just beautiful. Once again, such a strong response. Out of that timeout and effective right away, too. They might not need a second one. I love the fact that they called it here in this first half to just try to really push that knife in.
And the potential here for the twist of that to be their demise. A judge for Buzz this time around, and a heavy lean towards C once more.
And don't forget, because they won a round, they reset the loss bonus, so this becomes a very impactful round for DRX. They kind of have to win.
He's already gone his way out. The judge is not finding any value.
Ngapain loncat
Just somebody staying alive long enough to drop that Molly and getting a kill on Mako. I mean, that was a little aggressive by Rin there. But a 3v3 for the rest of the round. Two members still rotating over. Bianca, a bit of pressure.
Double flank again through the door this time, and it comes really fast.
Where is he?
I don't think RB expected it.
No, he's so dead. But Zest on the counter, a 2v2. BLG trying to retake the site.
Oh, the satchel.
He's gotten his way through, and YZ with 3.
What is going on? YZ just satcheled his own teammate there, gets up top, and gets the kills. It's like he baited his own teammate forward.
Dia udah cepet lagi, Cok.
And they're just destroying. He's asking what the heck is going on himself. This guy is destroyed. He had already the highest ACS in the entire tournament. Second highest ADR, first among the players who are still playing. And here again, 15 and 3, it's gotta be up there for another just disgusting game.
And you effectively create a high-low, and even then, you see it. YZ was essentially isolated in that 1v2. Question marks.
Ada apa katanya? Bingung.
Question marks all over the place. There's always a Cinderella balla. It always seems like there's a Cinderella, and this one seems to be fit to the size of BLG. That Slipper fitting quite nicely as they're up 8 rounds against DRX. A team that looked revitalized, a team that looked reinvigorated.
And they're getting so much value out of any of these A pushes. At this point, DRX has to start getting ready for dealing with the follow-up flanks that come despite getting some success on pushing into that C site. Finally, we're having some satchels early to try to break it. There, it broke both. Letting it stay alive for max damage. On the radius and YZ, we've seen this before. The turret did spoil the fun for him on this flank. The turret's down.
No way, no way.
What timing? Why is it that RB is the guy going so far here to break this door, knowing that he needs to keep that util up? It's like he's trying to make a play while the rest of them are following up behind his play, his idea. Door broken.
Ketahuan satu di B, YZ.
YZ, who's already found value on one, looking for the second is beyond, and the rest of BLG try to hold A. And my goodness, once more. Nothing for RB to do.
Gak mungkin.
When you're on a 1v5 at the end of the round like that, I mean, what options do you have?
Gila 10-1.
And you saw the traded flashes there.
DRX anjir. Ada apa dengan
Both
DRX?
Omens using their paranoia, and I really think that it's fitting because Billy is abusing DRX's paranoia here in terms of what could happen, in terms of the fact that this is such a devastating scoreline. DRX on the precipice of a massive first map loss here. We're about to enter halftime, but we're also already, maybe it's starting to declare this game is over right now.
I mean, we're close with it. We're flirting with it for sure.
11-1 would just be disgusting. Would be our biggest half of this tournament.
Just one round. Really the only thing keeping Billy from a perfect half. Against DRX, no less. Again, I can't stress the importance of that. DRX looks so good. They went through the gauntlet that was Group D. And people thought, well, Billy, yeah, maybe they got the best of NRG, but surely they can't do it again, right?
Oh my goodness, they used the showstopper to clear Mound and not to actually execute on the site. Oh, and it gets a kill anyways. That's not supposed to happen.
Langsung balik aja dia.
Why is he again? He's gonna respond.
Whoa, that was a little aggressive. That was a little bold. Somehow stays alive. You see two haymakers shot out.
Terlalu lebar itu kalau misalnya
BLG, the attempt to knockout punch, and for DRX, the attempt to just get back into this thing to give themselves a fighting chance. DRX, a 5v2 to close out the half.
30 seconds left.
Surely it doesn't happen like this, right? Surely it doesn't happen like this. Beyond's already gotten 2. YZ in a 1v3. Make that a 1v2. The timing is not great. As DRX finally get a second.
What the hell?
A ridiculous half nonetheless, though, from Billy. That is dominant, 10-2. How can you even think of responding here from DRX? How do you get your mind right? Going into not only the next map, but the next half. This is just a stomp.
I mean, the next half, when you consider the attacking side of Lotus, should be a little bit more favored here. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see if they can pull it back together. A 10-2 lead in favor of Billy. Golden Boy on the desk to break down their first half.
Thank you so much, fellas, and I think we'll just go straight into our Verizon high-speed moment. It's, of course, YZ's ace in round number 6. What a play. And also, just in general, Mimi, this BLG team, they're here to cook. They are frying.
BLG, I think their reactions across this entire map were so good. On all of these retakes, YZ was going absolutely insane. I mean, the reaction time to satchel above the opponent's ultimate, pull out his own ult to counter it, then throw the nade on the fly and find the perfect gap to take a kill. The team is playing well. They're setting YZ up excellently, and his mechanics are just ridiculous right now, Seth.
Yeah, he's just putting on an absolute clinic here when it comes down to this race, especially his movement has just been absolutely gorgeous. His rifling completely on point, and he's just been blowing them out of the water.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, this isn't even... Like, this is not what I had expected coming into today.
I mean, DRX, they just look so different than what we expected in group stage. I mean, to be fair, they're playing against an almost 400 ACS raised player. He was already statistically the best player in the event, and he's putting up halves like this.
And it's the defending side. Which 2 rounds on the attack for DRX, that's an all-time low for them, I believe. Maybe when they played against Paper X in the Pacific final, maybe it was worse, but this is not a good look at all.
For context, you're normally looking for like 4 or 5 rounds. This is a solid Lotus defense. It's insane. And DRX honestly look boomed right now. Slowing down so many of these rounds, running out of time, fumbling the mid rounds. It is so unlike the DRX of group stage. It feels like BLG is stepping up at the perfect time.
I mean, the 2 times that we saw DRX play this map at this tournament was a 6-6 and a 7-5 start on the attacking side. 2 rounds, not going to cut it. This looks like it's over.
Yeah, this is a rough one. DRX are going to need to climb a mountain. Let's see if they can do it or if it's over right here.
Let's go.
That mountain looks massive, Golden Boy. I'm not going to lie to you. BLG with an 8-round lead. Complete slaughter. They're having fun with it, too.
Hopefully they can continue to get smiles on their face, because Billy now on the attack side to close out, and they already got just Roman TP across. That was silent. I don't think they heard it. I don't think they heard it.
They have no idea. Dude, K-Knight only finding 1, but the damage is done.
And that's the problem with trying to slow walk, take that control as a defense. You don't end up hearing the TP. Either way, traded back, and they've actually got a really nice pinch here. That alarm bot still will be up from RB while they go for this push into it.
They've effectively funneled them into B. The thing is, there's really no contain
and
on the spawn side.
The A players are not reacting to this. They should either try to take control of A main or rotate back to start a pinch going, in the timing could not be worse.
I mean, Yosemite's going to pinch him behind him. They're going to try to funnel their way out through panel. There's a lot of trouble here for DRX, as once again they have no idea what's waiting on the other side.
And the fact that it's been quiet their entire time signals to everybody else exactly what's going on. Nobody coming through heaven, nobody else through A main. Oh, maybe not. Mistake there from YZ.
Yeah, numbers still in favor of the attack side, though. Now we've equalized Raiders with 37 HP. The spam out from Mako into the smoke. They're going to have to pop their way out because RB's already gotten it 3/4 of the way. He gets it to half, finishes the job, and gets DRX the pistol.
Billy, for the first time in my mind, showing the first sign of inexperience there. Not really putting the clues together. Even though that flank was just perfect by Yosemite. Perfect by K-Knight in the first place to get that first opener. And then the situation that DRX went for was, again, ideal in terms of handling that post plant. But just really thinking somebody was coming through waterfall. Now Billy down to pistols.
5 Bulldogs on the defensive side. Surely you favor DRX in this round. As Billy have gone exploring a little bit of 1-3-1, and they fully make their way out. I mean, the spike is in the hands of YZ, and he satchels forward. He gets the spike down, and he somehow gets away.
And already success. He's gotten 2 orbs in this round. Bryn got the other one. And the plant.
Careful here. That nade is going to cause some problems, but Buzz is just going to sink it. Never mind. He just holds it the whole way. I thought the nade was on.
And in this situation, the attackers don't need to go down. So economically, they're still going to be okay. Despite my heart beating for a second there while I saw all of them stay alive. It's okay. And again, I think that's a success for Billy. Not only denying the kills from DRX there, but getting 2 orbs for YZ, the plant and the B orb, and then as well getting that C orb for Rin. They're thriving in this case, and this is it. Big opportunity for them to close out this game. They win the Senti bonus. DRX, while they won't be out, you start to get those power ults. That becomes the win condition.
DRX just dumped so much utility towards A main there to effectively draw a line in the sand and not let him through. And I like that they're keeping some of this space as well.
Gitu ya suaranya.
That spray, the jump spot, Mako confirms there's nothing actually through, which means Billy needs to go for a second approach here. Plan B, rotate back towards C.
Second to clear some of the util, yeah. It at least drops the alarm bot. The nano mid is still there.
And that makes it hard. You can't play passive on B anymore. They're still looking for, they're spamming down.
I mean, they just invested a prowler towards mid because of that.
And that's 50 seconds. They've gotten almost all the really impactful util down from the KJ. With this smoke, they can continue to look for picks inside the C site. They don't have to commit through this.
He's far up here.
Here's the freeze.
That's moving forward. K-Knight there as well. You see it just a little bit of geometry keeping the two players apart.
30 seconds left.
The timing on this is everything. That sees to swing out, but
Wait.
somehow getting two. Seems like it might be bonus back, but why is he with the counter punch?
Oh, gila,
Yosemite with another in control for BLG.
Why has he got his nade back too, so allows for this plant to go in, but it's a safe plant. They cannot commit to playing post plant from Mound.
They may not want to. Buzz and Mako, what do you do? A divided attempt to taking the site back as they approach it from two fronts. Rin tucked in the corner. Do you check it? Yes, you do. Even crouch, nothing converted. Yosemite's gonna have to do it by himself. Let's get down to a 1v1. Time on Yosemite's side as Mako playing swing around the Rosie, trying to find the timing. No idea what's on the other side, and Mako reads it well.
Huge bonus for DRX, and all of a sudden, we're within 5.
W.
And there's a big chance here for them to start snowballing themselves, start to have a half similar to Billy. And you don't get into that period where it starts to become thinking about these win conditions for Billy being easy to get, easy to achieve. No. Keeping them from 11 is super important while this lead is still so big. Because again, you think about what Billy having to build out to end this. If it was 2 rounds, you just need 2 rounds of massive ults.
Right.
And as time continues,
kalau BLG kalah lagi nih harus ini time out sih.
Lose a round for the next couple.
I mean, they're still intent on pushing a lot of this aggression towards A main.
Apa itu anjir?
Whoa. That's fast. Good reaction from Billy. Instantly just pushing on the other side while they lose the other 2.
The paranoia in the nade, it's so good! Why is he getting one with the ult? And now the Prowler to push them back even further.
That's the problem here. K-Knight doesn't have the smoke. They're going to try to push it again.
Trying to check both corners. And RB dismisses K-Knight. What else can they find? YZ and Bianchi here left in this 2v4. You see Buzz trying to satchel his way forward. YZ's gotten one, but it's been traded back. YZ by himself, having to reload and reposition with the Haunt in his lap, and the pressure overwhelming of 3 members of DRX facing you down on the other side.
No way.
A desperate attempt to try to land shots that should not be connecting, and they don't.
Where is he? Susah coy, gila. 3 lawan 1.
Once again, really nice from DRX. Maintaining this safe distance.
Nggak time out nih. Gara-gara make time out tadi sih.
Keeping Billy away from that all-important match point. And again, we're now talking about 4 rounds. This is very much in the realm of possibility with how few we play.
Aduh, gila. Kekejar nih.
Big ult starting to accrue for DRX too. Notably, that showstopper was saved in this situation. Thought they were going to use it. And DRX's approach here on this A side is so important, crucial for them to continue maintaining this when Billy wants to work the entirety of the map. We've seen it before, we saw it in the last round, them attempt that. And if they can get success in getting kills as well, that pushes Billy. A lot of times their reaction is super fast to try to maintain that advantage.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this feels somewhat reminiscent to what we saw in the first half in how the defense is playing it. They're so aggressive towards A main, and they put the onus on the attacking side to either, I mean, if you want to go C, sure, by all means, but you're going to have to deal with the Killjoy utility and the Viper utility, or you try to go mid and you risk getting pinched.
Big difference here. As they actually tried to pressure that Prowler, does not catch Mako. He's making noise anyways. They're going to try to fight for this. DRX sticking around.
This is big out for Mako. What a snap onto YZ.
A great protocol there. That nade clears the player's A main.
He was ahead of that. Stack still wise to it. Nicely handled. Aware of the threat, aware of the danger.
30 seconds left.
Do they funnel out behind that molly? Buzz with the ult, and that connects onto Beyond.
Nice banget, Buzz.
And that was the spike! The Buzz has been so crispy these last few rounds.
Udah harus time out.
That's it. Spike down across the way, past the wall. You're right, Buzz is stepping up. In the group stage, they didn't really need a massive performance out of Buzz, the one that we love, the one that we see all the time at these global events. It was really Stacks, RB, those guys were consistent. Zest putting in a lot of work in crucial rounds. And there it is, timeout from Billy. Surprisingly, it's them using their second
timeout pertama sih harusnya
DRX here. DRX still has one available.
We had questions around whether or not DRX would burn both in the first half.
Yeah, I thought they should have.
Yeah. But Termi continues to handle the situation quite nicely. As you're right, Billy now out of timeouts for the rest of this half. They still hang on to a 3-round lead, but it's been all DRX.
This is crazy. I mean, I'm already in that territory where I think this is a very real possibility here for DRX.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely.
5 in a row. There's nothing to sneeze at. Getting that last one so important. And while I still think Billy is playing well, especially how they're dealing with that C aggression, or not aggression, that C setup that was such a problem for DRX. They're walking in there, breaking the mollies, satcheling them down, and then throwing a smoke that makes it so difficult for RB to play around. I think those are the things that they're talking about within this timeout right now, how to really use that to their advantage. I would not be surprised to see them to go right into that and go for a 5 walk-in. Remember, the one round that looked like they almost would win that was when they ended up going into C site, breaking that util, tapping the door twice, freezing, and then going for another A or C execute when they had space already within the site. Didn't work though. But similar concepts can be applied. The other thing they could do is challenge this A execute that's constantly coming out from DRX, try to punish it with a molly over top, nades going back, prowlers coming through.
Main kalem.
Remember, Mako and Buzz stayed for so long in that last round. If that util came through, then all of a sudden, you would have had something different. This time, you do have difference from DRX. And Billy pouncing immediately. They didn't see that. They only saw Paranoia. They didn't see a nade, anything else, no molly coming out from the side of Zest. So they just walk out. And there's 3 hero rifles here. Even a buy down to 600 from Rin. Whoa, all the way.
They've created so much space behind all that utility. Look at everything it's done. The Nightfall, the pit.
Mako got traded too in door. He got a kill. And if he stayed alive there, all of a sudden you have a 3-way pinch and retake under this pit, which is very devastating. But instead, you have control of door. It's planted for the spam. All they have to do is hold off RB.
RB's on the flank. No, the turret didn't see him.
He has a lockdown now too. Not one that you can really use effectively, but if he gets in this corner and posts it, you have to have a response from Billy.
I mean, there's nowhere else for Billy to go. Oh, this is so well handled. Look at K-Knight, understanding the pressure, repositions, tries to find some space to work behind it, and he gets a kill on RB. Buzz falls as well, K-Knight not able to do anything more. Bianc and Stacks in a 1v1. He's got to give up the space to see he's not going to connect. Stacks has already got it to half. Pulls off, and the snaps from Stacks is good.
Stacks.
What a clutch! What a round for DRX!
The pre-fire's so good under pressure there from Stacks. It's the Red Bull clutch. Look at this. Key moment there. K-Knight trying to break that lockdown, instead dueling with Stacks, and that forces Bianc to go all the way back into drop. And forces the rush in. That's why Stacks is going for half, knows that he has to really run to stop that defuse. No Maen Games player played at all. Either side. Oh, look at this. Buzz not on this A side at all. Instead, DRX making it look like they're going for one of those setups. And he's on the C side. Switching that up could really make things dangerous for Bilibili if they go for any sort of C pressure.
For Bilibili, we mentioned
What?
they had 3 rifles in the previous round. Because of how they managed their money, they still have enough to buy in the light armor on 4. We'll see what they can do with it. It was a costly investment in the previous round. They dumped, what, 2 ults into that? They still have the lockdown from Maen. And again, we're seeing some of the protocols that we've seen to open the round, the satchels to clear out the Killjoy utility. But this time, they're committing. They invest the lockdown, they dump the nade, Buzz again!
The break that, yeah, broke it!
It was that easy!
Yeah, that's the reason Buzz is over here.
Not only does he clear out the lockdown, but he gets a kill with it.
Oh, he picked up the gun instead of the spike!
That's the wrong package, it's not what you were looking for. Kena, though, managing to avoid disaster, scooping up the spike. And now setting eyes forward. See that satchel through. Bianca's gotten some space.
Great season. They've confirmed the hit is still going to be on the C site. Nobody tapping the door.
Buzz in a position to find more value. Just one daring to challenge across the corner, and it is YZ. Yosemite on the trade. 13 seconds left. The spike's still not planted, and DRX still clawing for control. There's no way Knet pulls this off, right? This would be a 1v3. Mako's going fast with it. Oh, he decides to take the fight! But there was still so much to do! Mako cleans him up anyways. DRX get within 1.
And so far, it's a flawless half from DRX.
Comeback anjir.
Right now, looking for the comeback of champs so far from a 10-2 half to within 1. How has this happened? And I have to say, Doug, I feel like Bilibili's still playing a lot of these situations correctly. But DRX playing them even better. That nade to break the lockdown is so good preemptively.
Mereka juga bingung.
Oh, he's ahead of this.
Mau kemana?
He's cheeky with it.
Kita tahu lah DRX emang kuat dan gue juga kaget juga gitu. Kenapa DRX bisa kebantai gitu? Ternyata kan comeback.
No satchels left. 1 kill away. 1 orb away from having Showstopper online. As they dare to continue to challenge Buzz in that cross once more. And this time it's the second time he gets the kill.
Kerin.
They did get the spike down. Mako expecting some of the pressure from Red on the flank. Reads him like a book.
Still dangerous. Time is ticking right now.
Mending WAZ jangan maju dah.
They have to delay.
Can they get this gun? Yes.
That's
big.
That's the second gun now being able to be picked up by
Bianca. 3 katanya di situ.
YZ can get out.
It actually went into YZ's hands.
Weh, di stick weh.
But Zest has already gotten to 3/4 of the way. There's nothing to stop him. They created so much space in spawn. They lost sight of the spike.
Again, an ingenious play from Knet.
Kita lihat lah tadi Bilibili berapa kali blunder nggak di round itu juga sih.
8 rounds in a row. Bilibili flirted with perfection in the first half. But DRX showing that they could do, at least for now, what Bilibili could not.
This is twice now that we're thinking, could we have a perfect half?
Waduh.
This is ridiculous from DRX.
To get so close, you have no shot, bro. You're so done. You're so done.
WAZ mau ngapain?
The ult comes through as well as they push their way forward. Mako with 2. Knight trying to take a step back, dancing around. Prowler snaps onto Stacks, well handled. But the thing is, through all of that chaos, once again,
gila, Aaron apa ini anjir?
BLG are down in numbers, they're down in control, and they're finally down on Lotus.
Gila, Bilibili.
This is beautiful from DRX.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's quite literally perfect.
9 rounds now in a row. A fantastic comeback. Now they are in the lead, in the driving seat too. I mentioned earlier how important it was for them to keep Bilibili off of 11. All of a sudden it's DRX with all the bank in the world, with that ability to have the same closeout. Especially if they can get up to match point right now. Bilibili is just riding this loss bonus.
Udah Yusumet, jangan.
Which means always you're going to have a player who's low on money. Bulldog, Spectre's here.
Gila maksain beli lo.
Continue to hit this B site. This is where the least amount of presence from DRX has been.
No shot, bro. There's just no way. The ult doesn't work. Follow-up from Rin doesn't either.
Yeah. Kalah udah.
The
Bili-bili.
second attempt at this site is something I like to see given success last time. But now that they get shut down here, now that DRX again ahead of that adaptation, ahead of Billy. What do they choose to go for?
I mean, as soon as the door was tapped, you see RB start to take a step backwards. Realizing he's in a 1v3.
Bomb grenade out.
I mean, dude, they're gonna challenge him much
Anjir,
more.
kejar sama Smite.
And now Zest has shown up. Zax is not far behind either. They've gotten out onto the site, but they're going to be able to establish enough control to get the spike down? I don't think so.
That kill back allows them the space to recover the spike, though, especially with the nightfall. But
Smite juga nyala
RB not giving
smoke.
up an inch, looking for the second beyond Seru on the trade, but Buzz finishes it once more. DRX get to map point.
Not only Matt Point, but
Gila,
one round away from the perfect half here on Lotus. We've only seen that sort of performance twice at a global event. And when you see it, it usually comes
Segampang itu anjir
in a
kambing.
13-0. Instead, it's a massively close game, somehow, someway. I think a lot of people maybe look back at this and think to themselves, well, it was close until it wasn't.
Yep.
But this is a comeback of the century. It's so beautiful to watch. DRX is ahead of every little step. They just need that last page from Billy.
And talk about forgetting about the past. They've done so masterfully. And they're now in a position where not only do they have the financial advantage, not only are they up 2 rounds, but they have so many ults they can play around too.
This is what I was talking about, Billy. Really doing a great job of taking it to RB's setup so frequently. Only one Molly broken this time. There's that smoke that allows them to threaten that they're walking in. Instead, they're going to go towards the A side. They are lining up the mollies. This is what I was talking about against Mako. He has TPs to get out of this situation, but Buzz is joining him, and he's getting really close.
He's ahead of this now. Oh my goodness, just barely spotted. The spam keeps him alive, and you're right. Buzz is here. Just barely gets away. What do they do with this pressure, though? What do they do with this space? That Nightfall's going to get so much info. But BLG throwing the brakes on the round, pausing for just a moment.
Back to the B site. Pit going begin.
Ulti aja sama Jess.
Side, and they drop the pit of their own. DRX dudes, now they have B control.
20 detik mau kemana?
BLG, you've knocked on the first door, it doesn't open. Does the second?
Back to A, really? 14 seconds.
There's not enough time here. They've got to find success on this. The
Wih, ada
opener has to
waktu
be
kok,
clean. And Buzz, of course, it's Buzz who's here. And Mako with 3.
GG.
The pin goes down. And so do BLG's hopes of winning this map. 4 for Mako, a 13
Buset, gila.
win and a ferocious comeback on Lotus for
Comeback
DRX.
yang sangat gila. Anjir.
One of the best comebacks ever.
Unreal.
Wah, gila.
How do you contend with this? If you're Billy, it's going to be a big question that they're handling after the break.
Anjir, gila banget.
Minta ada kayo. Minta ada kayo. Di B.
Masih pada main?
Masih.
Anjay. Wih, Tur. Wah, gila anjing. Billy menang half front 10-2 lawan di RX.
What the fuck?
Malah ke comeback anjir. Jadi 10-13. What the heck? Anjir. Gila sih.
Ih, tai.
Coba bisa gitu anjir.
GG anjir Billy sumpah.
Enggak. Comeback anjir Billy.
Comeback sama siapa? Dia lawan siapa sih?
DRX. Lawan DRX. Dia udah menang half front 10-2.
Buy me five.
Terusnya ke comeback.
Terus udah kalah dia. Apa
baru map 1, bab 1. Map pilihan Billy lagi.
Anjing.
Atuh siapa ya? Udah pas 7-1. Nih udah 7-1. Dianya ini malah time out sih sama kayak apa ya, kayak antara ngerespek atau pengen menangin round selanjutnya gitu. Gara-gara dia kalah 1 round doang langsung time out dia. Anjir kata gua. Terusnya dia pas ke comeback terus kan cuma bisa pakai 1 time out doang itu. Time out terakhir. Harusnya ya salah sih itu. Penggunaan itu ya. Call-nya. Aduh. Bisa menang padahal bili-bili anjir.
Kawan, tap wah sopan akun smooth, Cok.
Padahal ya tadi 2 player bili-bili tur dapat S anjir. Gila kata gua. Killjoy-nya dapat S, Rese dapat S tadi. Gokil.
Aduh, lagi pada halo.
Nice try, Senator.
Si Jaki nu girang gitu. Si tolol temen senjata. Si tolol temen senjata.
Crazy comeback.
Yo, anjing rame banget. B-nya rame lenyap.
BLG Big Loser Gaming. Aduh, parah komennya.
Di mana? Wah.
Ih, tai. Ah. Sumpah dong, anjing. Ada yuk, maju dia. Ah, nggak kena itunya anjing. Ya lo bantai habis-habisan ya.
Tenang. Habis ronde ini nggak bakal menang ya.
Anjing menang sekali doang. Cok, Ayo P. Ayo P. Scan. Scan.
Well.
Ayo tuh. Ayo sopa dia. Di C ada.
Cok.
Anjing rame banget. Wah anjing sopa 99. Wah asli suren deh.
Cupu amat Jaki. Masa nggak bisa nge-come background? Aduh.
Aduh, tai. Jago saya sofanya. Aku smooth, Cok.
Kalau jago jangan dibilang semur, pede.
B aja.
Cak.
B aja.
TKM3.
B aja.
Tuh rapi aja, B aja katanya.
Iya, hoki aja dia. Emang tangannya lagi hoki tuh. Nih gue yang bawa ya. Gue yang bawa.
Sofa itu is crazy man.
Sofa is crazy man. Apa?
Anjing. Langsung lah step-stepan.
Ya, ketahuan dong yang ada kalah dong.
Gua ngomongnya apanya ini?
Go back.
TF anjing.
Go back man.
Mati dong. Itu Jaki. Ih, nembak naon, bro.
Bisa main gitu ya.
Anjing. Geko sekarang tuh mau tadi. Sekarat.
Penyemangat tuh Jak.
What the fuck? Kau, your thing one Chrisnya apa?
Ngomong apa Jaki?
1000 apaan? 1000 ya?
100.
100.000 aja. Iya sayang ya.
The fuck?
Iya sayang.
Mati ya si ini boy ya. Mati nih. Turun deh. Nggak semua kos banget. Asik.
Geko di kiri.
Wih, dek ngapain dek?
Kawan, tap, cok.
Gila, noob banget lu.
Parah ya noobnya si Jaki.
Itu.
Gak bisa main sebenarnya dia tuh.
Kayaknya di bed.
Wih, sini lihat deh ya.
Scan.
Wih.
Nice. Di Fokus ya deh menang Jak spike nak.
Banget ah.
Sini spek nih, sini deh.
Woi beliin woi.
Thank you.
Dari mana nak nyokot senjata?
Bisa gak ada, bukan begitu deh cara mainnya gini nih. Ya maju dulu lewat sini. Maju, baru gini.
Aduh, tai, nice.
Mau kemana nih? Ke apa kak?
Oh itu sekarat, aduh si Diboy gimana sih ini?
Mati si Diboy.
Sejelas tuh, dia ngapain?
Aduh, ada ya.
Emang suka gitu Pi.
Ini lagi di dep. Tembakin yang lep. Aduh, susah sih itu.
Jakta, saya tak. Wingsman.
Nice point.
Hanya mau ke bantai sih kita.
Tinggi siya depeng. Mata na pecak.
Lihat nih. Sih oke. Panik datang lu siapa najis aing. Jaga ngap. Woi. Enggak dijaga lo guanya, woi. Woi, jaga.
Anjir kasihan banget.
Di sini kita jelas sih.
Pisau.
Aduh.
This is going to be quite the matchup, most importantly because you have DRX coming in with a new composition, and new doesn't necessarily mean better. We'll see if it works out for them. Can BLG catch him off guard? Let's send it back over to your casters, Doug and Bala.
You know, low-key Golden Boy spitting when he says that at the end, because I think that's real talk, right? Good doesn't necessarily mean better, especially when you have a comp that you've been running for as long as DRX have on Haven, but we'll see if that's the case. They're starting off on attack ball. Meanwhile, Billy's sticking to what they know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is very similar to what DRX normally run on this side, on this map. For me, I'm fully looking over on the side of Billy. On that side of the stage, how do you contend with a loss like that?
Yeah, yep.
You almost pulled off what felt like an upset, and you lose in that manner, not a single round after the second half started. Do you collapse, or are you able to use that first half as a way to get back into this mentally? It's a tough thing to deal with. Now DRX with this weird comp makes it a lot harder to prep for, but is Billy experienced against this type of situation? We see it a lot in EU, some tier 2 teams playing it as well in NA. Viper makes it really difficult to actually play into these retakes, especially when you get to this A side of the map. And that's where DRX are going right away.
Meanwhile, it's just Yosemite who's playing here from Billy, and he's playing up in heaven. You see, they were concerned with losing house control. They had the alarm bot, they had the nano down there.
Oh,
Yosemite
wait,
drops down? What?
And they're mollied off from spawn with the orb, but this is what I'm talking about. It's like impossible to get through with just the first wave of util. You have to wait for that second to come through, and here it is.
But again, it's isolated. Rin now starting to funnel out, but they've done such a good job of containing them out from Link. They just waterfall their way into the next round.
Ini baru DRX ya.
That already is the first sign of them not being experienced, what I was just asking about in terms of scrimming against a comp like this. The win conditions for DRX a lot of times is just relying on trying to get on site with minimal losses, minimal util, and then use all the mollies possible to stall. Not even play for post-bind, although that's something that they can rely on too, which is a tough thing to tell whether they're doing one or the other.
Right.
Billy needs to answer both of those questions immediately on this defensive half. Otherwise, we're going to see the streak from DRX continue.
A little bit of information off that flash, forcing the smoke out. You see the ward being picked up for stacks.
Mundur.
And YZ's gotten a little aggressive.
Gila YZ maju coy.
And the alarm bot's going to keep him back. Does he hear it? Does he see it? It's cleared out. He dashes forward off of the fault line, and Buzz stunned up, drops him anyway.
The angle of that dash slightly bad because Buzz can actually hold that. First teammate, hold RB's back. If he gets up closer and then dashes into that stun into window, you're looking at a dead RB and a gun picked up from YZ. They're going to go for a second layer to this, push through garage fast.
3 members here.
And there's no Trailblazer from Stacks either, so they can't really get this info.
Sorry, not just 3, the turrets here too. It finally gets cleared out. Meanwhile, they're pushing their way forward, and they decide they want to funnel out into the site, feeling like they've lost control of the situation, feeling like DRX were intent on going B instead. They try to take aggression, and it does not work out.
Yeah. That's the problem with going out garage. Yes, you can get yourself a kill. Yes, you can get yourself the win in that initial fight. But then it's so difficult because you can have players coming from spawn. You can have players coming from window. You can have players coming down the ramp in front of B. And that's what happened right there. Just nowhere else to go. That's 14 in a row now for DRX, and a big opportunity here. This bonus. If this starts to balloon, I don't see a way as a player you can stay in this when you've just had such a massive defeat.
No, I can't fathom that either. And remember, the first 2 halves that we've played, bonuses have been converted on. First it was Billy, Second half of Lotus, it was DRX. Can they do it again? The opener on tonight is quite nice.
And Zest is the entry there, paired up with Buzz.
Oh my god! DRX may be back. Yeah, they seem to have forgotten about Lotus a long time ago.
This game might be the perfect game to make it so difficult for those people who love to overreact. And right here in the bonus, I'm going to do just that.
Yeah, go on, overreact.
Because Mako's on the flank, this round's over. And you also have RB playing mollies in the post one again. That's what they love in some of these situations. That's what they love to contend with. And I'm looking at a Billy who's going to struggle with that fact over and over.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it feels like DRX, they're going to continue to catch these timings. It's very reminiscent of how Billy liked to play.
Yeah.
I think about how they did it against NRG on Split. I think about how they did it to DRX on Lotus in the opening half. Finding these ratty little timings to expose tiny gaps and make massive gaping moves. But DRX is doing the exact same thing back to them.
And for me, the first two series that Billy played, everything did go their way. They were winning clutches, they were winning magic moments. Not quite the same thing here. DRX is the one, in my mind, who's having those moments. Opportunity here, Billy on a light buy. There's a Guardian up for Yosemite. Guardian down.
Yeah, and that really felt like a perfect representation of what you were talking about just a few moments ago, where it felt like the magic was leaning towards VLG. You think about that in the opening to Lotus or against NRG, Yosemite hits those shots. He gets two, right? And the crowd goes nuts, and we go, how the heck are they doing this? What's going on? That spark isn't there anymore. And in fact, it feels like such a distant memory.
And against Fnatic too, it was like, okay, we're expected to lose this. They lost. You don't have to contend with anything mentally there.
Right, yeah.
Here, they've been punched so hard. It's a gun punch losing that one. You get all the air sucked out of you.
Not just to lose the way that they did on Lotus, but then also to start here. The fact you lose a pistol, the fact that you get bonused. It's about to face 4 members of DRX. Yeah, he gets one first trouble, but that's all it is.
Dapat 4.
And you need to start doing some damage here for Billy. You can't just rely on your loss bonus to Balloon. If you want to come back into this, if you want to stop the momentum, you have to deal with the economy of DRX, which is really starting to go a little crazy.
I mean, it's mad when you think about it. Zest at 55, Buzz and Sax, 48 and 47 respectively. Like,
he did pick up a Phantom, so maybe he can save that. Walked away from his teammate, though, is not going to be the way to do it.
No.
And that's the problem there. Knight needs to try to die in this situation, whereas YZ wants to escape with the Phantom, then they can't play for each other. He's going to go back for the Phantom, which is good. At least one of them gets alive, but what I was talking about, this bank, ballooning and ballooning. The ult's ballooning and ballooning, and on this map again, this is one where his ults are so impactful. A pit by Zest. Lockdown, the Seekers, all such valuable tools here for DRX. Not to mention the knives from Buzz too, although with Bank, it's really difficult to even find yourself a place to use them.
Time out, pasti time out.
And this timeout marks 16 rounds in a row lost for Billy.
Billy sudah tidak tahu
if you didn't have enough time to contend with that loss on Lotus, this is the time to start to reconcile with that fact.
And reconsider your approach into Haven. You're right. A total of 5 kills across all members of Billy right now.
It's over.
I mean,
hey.
I mean,
that's one of those guys I'm talking about, right? The overreactors.
I mean, the situation doesn't look good.
I love this game. I mean, in that first map, everybody's like, it's Jover, DRX is done, they're going home.
Yep.
Second half, they're like, oh, they're back, Billy is fake.
Billy bisa mendapatkan poin ya.
These tunes change quick.
I love being a part of the Valorant community when we overreact and we just
4-1 atau DRX yang menang. Jadi
nor should we.
0-5 lagi.
Alright, so you're saying this game is Jover?
Oh yeah,
kata gua masih ya. Biar cepat aja nih 2-0.
Billy have to stop the bleeding here. The fact that you've invested in a timeout as early as you have, YZ has the op, and it seems like it's going to be a peek out of garage, but there's really no setup for it. I thought maybe a combo with the fault line or something like that, but this is...
He loves to go dry.
Yeah.
He loves to do that, and he is the master of re-peeking. We've seen him do work at angles like this, but look at DRX. They're already considering an early one-way, so he can't peek out. Now he can activate the dash and go for something more. This turret, nobody's peeking off of it yet.
RB is just filled in behind it. He didn't even get the turret.
Nggak dapet turretnya juga.
I think still up, pesky as it is.
And look at this double duo of Zest and Buzz again in front of this smoke. Already got value before. Drone coming in from backside. This is an opportunity to isolate a fight for Buzz up close, and they miss him.
Ih, gak kelihatan Buzznya.
Is K9
Dapat nih.
aware? Is he expecting Buzz's presence?
I mean, Buzz kind of has to wait for a second smoke here on front
Yeah.
B from either Mako or
Gila, sama-sama sabar, coy.
Rin to get out of this situation or use one of his own. But then he can get spammed.
Right.
If you show your presence, there's the smoke. Finally, he can get out.
He's going to push into it. They both pushed into it
Aduh,
at the same
kena
time.
kurang sabar.
K9 tried finding space in that smoke.
Oh, they put it in, which makes the big threat of them walking into plant, but they're not actually going for it. This dog up short is going to actually give up the hit, though.
Yeah, they've got to be careful because BLG have two members here, and one of them is YZ with the op, but he's going aggressive. He's going forward. That's the pick
Yang
down.
dapat satu.
Zest is fallen.
Nice,
YZ finds
YZ.
one with the op. And now the paranoia is going to delay even longer. Mako has to take a step back with the spike. 18 seconds left. There's no way into the site.
This is overcooked. I don't think they're going to have time to go either.
RB's the only one with some space, and he's now dropped.
And with the ults as well, out of jump, he cannot die here. They might have time.
Oh.
And he does. Can he get the plant? No. Yes.
He's going to get it.
Just barely, I think.
How have they made it this far?
Dapat anjir.
This
You can't
could
lose
be
this one. You can't.
This could be a backbreaker. This
Dikit
could be
lagi.
devastating.
0,0 berapa
Can
tadi?
Billy stabilize?
0,023 ya.
Mako can't go past it.
No.
And he knows.
Mako tahu.
Buzz another one.
Not like this. A 2v2. Buzz with 3. He's got blades too. He's just perched
Waduh,
down
udah.
on the side. He's
Menang,
on 4.
menang.
Can Buzz do it on his own? No, he
Aduh.
falls. Mako looking for it. The spam connects. A back-breaking round as BLG
Udah di
crumble
RX,
once
udah
more.
bantai ya.
That is just absurd. And Billy,
Gila
Billy, not only do they have to deal with the fact that they just lost
Gila banget,
to
coy.
a perfect halves after dominating on their first. They were so
tipis.
close. Now, once again, so
Wih,
close.
0,18
But they get hit
anjir.
with a 2v5. Oh my goodness.
Wah,
It was like 0.1
tipis
left
banget.
on the clock when the spike went down.
And they're going for a fast push down mid. Knives active for YZ. Going for the Fnatic push.
YZ.
This is well set up. He's going to see so much. Zest was the one that didn't get caught, though.
Ya
And they continue
elah.
to push into the aggression from BLG.
It's like they expected it. Zest was already hiding from the dart pre-round.
An attempt to
Run
catch him
cepat
slipping just
karena
spells more
run saving
disaster.
mereka ya.
DRX up 6-0.
Udah,
18
bantai
in a row.
0,13.
Following up from Lotus. I asked if we wanted a bloodbath. Some people would be happy on that first half, but this is absolutely brutal.
DRX, 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 DRX. Udah, kasih roundnya ke DRX.
Billy back with weapons, the op in the hands of YZ.
Every step of the way, they're expecting the peaks. They're expecting that
OP
push.
lagi, coy,
Are they
WAZ,
expecting the up down
buset.
C now?
Gila juga nih orang.
They are, man.
Yeah, that's mad.
Already smoking top C. Trying to deny information, force the op to rotate on a normal passive angle, but it's not normal.
Ooh, it's crazy. Uh-oh. Oh.
Ya.
Oh, no.
Ya.
They're flat. It really feels like they have nothing left.
Solo duels too there from K-Knight.
Nice,
On
Biang.
the counter, Buzz is weak. Still so much to do. 31 HP left for him, and he's got to hold the side by himself.
Wih, gila, Biang.
And Biang very well may. A
Waduh.
1v1. Another opportunity
1v1.
of getting back into this. And this time it connects.
Nice banget ya, Sumat.
Finally breaking the streak of what, 18 rounds in a
Dapat
row?
gak di OP?
18 in a row, but
Ya, enggak.
big round for Billy. They lose 2 players early. That's a 3v5, so some life in them still.
Gila ini Yosumet, gila juga sih.
The Billy fans in the crowd desperately trying to inject some energy. and deny the DRX fans something here in the arena. But this is what I'm talking about. It's so difficult. If you didn't do damage early into this bank from DRX, you're going to constantly get hit with. Now you have all these ults up. And Billy, for the first time, not with max loss bonus. Insta ult into heaven from Mako.
And he's sticking it. There's so many things you're going to have to contend with here if you're Billy. You've got Buzz dashing forward, you've lost having control.
Mako langsung turun. Ketahuan sih.
Lockdown though. Are there mollies from RB? I think he just placed on the spike, which means they can play post plant here.
Turun, mundur.
How do they handle this?
Ya, dapat dua.
Lineups from RB.
Nida's ult.
4 out heaven.
But they don't expect Mako here, do they? Oh, he gets hit by the stun. He's gonna dash right into him. YZ falls. Buzz still
Buzz
down in
yang
hell. No
nggak dicek ya, padahal dia kena kan.
The spam connects as Buzz gets another, looking for the third, and he finds it.
They just got
gila
7-1
coy.
In a situation where they're the ones trying to use that breach ult to get out on site. Buzz is under, really deep and dark. Under heaven.
Gokil anjir.
He puts himself in a position where he doesn't get ulted. Is able to protect Mako, who is luckily in the best position ever when YZ's trying to dash out. He's literally in his smoke.
Yeah.
Not able to trade that kill, and that allows all the players coming back from the lockdown to rush their way back
Bingung
in.
kan, BLG.
Buzz was a hero there for sure. 13-3 for DRX, and I don't know how Billy slowed this down, man. I really don't. They continue to put tools in the hands of their star. YZ once again with the rifle.
And he's not going to have an op in the rest of the half of this, though,
No.
because of this decision, unless somebody can save up for him, which Yosemite might be in position to do later on.
Masih nahan.
They ran it a couple times.
Oke, nih dari Billy A-nya udah mulai maju ya.
That was so far back.
I do like how
Cek ada dua di
the
garage.
person who's going up with Buzz to clear up close B. Normally it was Zest, this time it's RB.
Yeah.
RB is a less risky player to invest in this one. Already using one of his mollies, and Zest is closer. Then he's sort of impact in terms of ults.
Zest almost catches him there.
Oh, they're looking to pounce if that Seeker actually gets a little bit more information about how empty that site is.
Yeah, you can tell
Tumben
they're
nih,
threatening it.
lumayan lama nih.
But alas, they turn their attention to A once more. YZ, the only rifle in hand.
Gila.
And 2 found. But you see
Bakal
it,
S kah? Bakal S lagi kah?
concerned about what's coming elsewhere.
Here.
Ini orang nih jago nih, gila juga nih.
I mean,
oh my goodness, he is deep.
What? C-nya udah
weapons can
dipotong.
G.
He didn't clear the site, so
Wah,
they're actually
gila.
going to have to do that
C-nya udah
themselves.
dipotong coy.
RB's in position to backstab them through their own spawn.
Yeah, but there's really nobody who's going to be there. It's just K-Knight. And
Tahu
K-Knight can win this duel out.
RB.
They have so much control because they've upgraded weapons! They scooped up the weapons that were left down long, and now there's a fighting shot at this.
It's not planted for spawn either here. It's not planted for RB. Mako has to do everything.
Tiga ya flanknya tuh, tiga long.
I mean, he's done it before, though. Can Mako do it again? The fault line. Mako looking to connect.
Anjir.
Only one found. RB by himself in a 1v3, and the frenzy from a distance, no less.
7-2.
Gets Billy
Gak apa-apa,
their
gak apa-apa.
second.
Easy aja.
That right there, you
Bisa
asked how
masih
they
bisa
stay in
kejar.
this. That right there was how. 2 hero rifles
10-2
bought. They were
kayak
still
tadi ya,
gonna buy
kayak
next
tadi.
round. So dealing with losing that loss bonus really well and winning in that instance with the MasterCard Thrifty is so important. They had 3 frenzies, 3 pistols. Look at this out of YZ. And Doug, I think I have the script. I think they're going to go ahead. DRX is going to close out this half 10-2, and then there's going to be the perfect half.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got the script already?
Yep.
Well, we'll have a little bit of time to discuss this script as Billy's starting to find some life and injecting some pace into this defensive side. Again, YZ was the hero that last round because not only does he get the kills with the rifle that was invested and put into his hands, but that allowed the additional rifles to get picked up for Billy to give them a fighting shot at that.
And just those 2 rounds is enough to start to break the bank from DRX. It's not perfect out of them, but plenty still. If they're able to start stringing some rounds together, we might end up with a broken bye towards the end here for DRX. Either way, they're still in full control. But I think possibilities creeping back into Billy's head with those couple of round wins that they've got now.
Masih pada semangat nih fans BLG.
But they are starting to rely on some significant hero plays. Out of YZ. And you can see in some of those lost rounds too, people solo peeking to try to find value.
Wah, bokong pan anjing.
They need these last 3.
So desperately. And they find themselves with a fighting chance.
I will say these halves with this type of Viper comp are really swingy. We can get really massive leads on one side or the other.
Are they going to try again aggression towards mid? This lineup from beyond, the fact that K-Knight just invested his fault line, YZ close.
YZ nge-pick lagi.
Oh, it's so well handled.
A double peek
Oh,
from
dapat.
mid and garage.
So nicely done.
Nice banget sih.
And that's timed with Bianca's dart landing so that everybody is
Billy
trying to avoid it
memanfaatkan
or hit it.
Right, either you clear out
timeoutnya
and then
DRX
you
ya.
get sucker punched, or you're lit up like a Christmas tree.
Udah sisa 3 nih DRX. Z, Stuck, dan Mako.
DRX quiet on that one as they start to rotate towards A in a 3v5.
Somehow, some way, he's avoiding the alarm bot right now. No way to actually know that it's
Masuk
long. That gets some space. This peek from Yosemite.
Oh,
Wah,
just
ketahuan.
behind.
Plan aja, plan.
And that was Marco smoking late because he's trying to get space here for Zest.
And those shots are going to show up late too.
Telat itu line
Sax
up-nya.
already cleared out so much. They invest 100 fury. Those
kena.
shots is getting a little bit of damage done. Sax is going to fall into the aftershock. A little bit more though. As Zest gets
Yes. Oh gila, Jess.
Volleys are so good in that orb. He's going to TP past it though. Oh, right into Zest!
Mako's really far back too, and right now there's a
Rin
smoke.
ngapain
Meaning is
anjir?
you, but they have to clear Zest, and they do. Beyond pushing forward. K-Knight with
anjir,
3
untung
and
Makonya
another round for
nge-whip bro.
BLG.
Buset.
Might have started slow, but it might end strong here in these last couple
Makonya
of rounds
untung nge-whip.
on the half for Billy. And don't forget, this is a team.
Gila, gokil,
It's their
gokil.
first time stepping on a global stage at this
75
event in
nggak sih?
group stages. It's their first playoff match at a global event ever. And they've actually earned themselves with their group stage push to get a second opportunity, even if they go
Kenapa
down in this
Ismet?
game.
Menang
But
kok,
everything
santai.
that they learn along the way is so crucial. And I think you're already seeing them.
Tapi itu
Break through
Rin
one of those
tuh
barriers.
hampir bikin kalah BLG sih.
Anjing.
And
Kenapa ya
Blades
player
online,
Omen tuh suka TP aneh-aneh dah.
wanting to find a way to peek through the smoke. You see the fault line set up for K-Knight too. They're going to pounce on this. They're going to pounce on this because Yosemite's going to get some info early on. And there it is. There's the fault line. And there it is for Yosemite. 2
Gila,
found.
Yusmite.
YZ
Wah,
with the third.
Dapat 1 kill.
Oh, it was a trap and they took
2
it.
kill, YZ.
RB's going to have to 1v5 his way
Last
through
man,
this
RB.
round. What a spectacular setup for Billy.
Nice banget.
Most beautiful part
Dari
about that
Biang.
to me is that the Jet's not the one pushing up short. Every other team is going for that sort of approach. But they carpet bomb through.
Gila, masih semangat coy.
With the breach, with the
Versi
Omen,
BLG.
with the KJ following it up. And then it's YZ that they're baiting into with the Judge. And again, a fantastic smoke out of Rin from cross map.
Kenapa bisa katanya?
They found some life, yeah. And
Aduh,
honestly, the
asyik
fact that these
banget.
rounds are coming, they're coming at crucial moments where DRX does not have these ults at any point in these last couple.
And they don't really have it. I mean, they have some money to bring this into this. A Bulldog for Buzz. He's got Blades, Zest with the Guardian. And meanwhile, the op for YZ. Currently no challenge down too long, though. And it seems like Billy are intent on wanting to take some of that space. They've tucked Yosemite into Cubby.
I love this too. YZ with the op on the angle. If they ever spot him, it's so much more difficult to deal with a player in Cubby because you're trying to not get opt at the same time.
Right.
There's the possibility of going for a pop smoke, but very unlikely to
bisa
happen.
di-wall,
Wait,
dia
Matt, nice attempt there from Zest to break the turret with the spam, and he finds it.
Anjir. Bisa
Second time's a
cuy.
charm.
You normally don't have high pen weapons on the attack side, so the fact that the money is broken actually allows them to do that.
Gokil.
The Prowler.
Are they trying to go for that same pit where Zest was trying to lurk through A when they hit the execute?
Wih, B-nya wih.
It may.
And maybe even force Buzz into a position. No, it looks like they just want to hit this B site.
Yeah, the smoke and the flash.
Wih,
Buzz
nyangkut.
dashing out with Paranoia to follow.
Oh, love that underneath him too, so he can push back into the back of sight. There's that pit I was talking about.
Mako feeling some of that pressure, has to reposition. They've got Buzz back site.
Remember, Mako can always TP out.
Yeah.
Oh, shots!
Something to clear Buzz.
The plant didn't go down. 15 seconds, they have to rush it.
Cess is going to have to do it on his own, and Buzz gets cleared out as well. Managing to get the spike down, but you're left in a 5v3.
Oh, risky moment there. Zest was the one who had to go recover the spike. This lockdown's going to push off the pit.
They're going to have to give it up. And that's going to open up all the sight lines.
He's going to stay, Doug. They're going to try to hold the pit up.
Oh, it's so audacious.
Wah, kena tuh satu tuh.
He does find one kill for it. He's still alive. Oh my gosh, he finally gets cleared out.
Position.
A 3v2 stacks with both. He's going to have to get it 5 HP, and he cannot. Rin winning out the crucial 1v1 in the 11th hour.
And all of a sudden, this is very much a game again. We've been in this position before, but this one much closer. Billy's still holding on.
I mean, for both of these teams, we've seen them have to deal through so many mental hurdles. For DRX, it was halftime in Lotus. And then when we really thought everyone thought BLG was done, Billy was no longer gaming. They come back to get it to a 7-5 half, a competitive one at that. And for DRX, we've got to ask, really, we're going to get the pleasure to ask Buzz this because they got through the group of death. They had a nice long break. Let's see how they spent that time.
Halftime.
일단은 플레이오프에 가장 먼저 진출하게 되어서 너무 기쁘고요. 일단 그 플레이오프 경기 전까지 많은 시간이 있는데 그 많은 시간 동안 잘 준비해가지고 플레이오프에서 어떤 팀을 만나든 이길 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다. 사실 그 죽음의 조라고 불릴 만큼 많이 강한 팀들이 섞여 있고 어려운 조였는데 당연히 어느 팀을 만나든 이길 자신은 있었지만 저희도 질 수 있겠다라는 생각을 갖고 방심을 하진 않았고 일단은 플레이오프는 일단 그룹 스테이지보다 훨씬 더 중요하니까 그냥 저희끼리 그냥 이 남은 시간 동안 플레이오프를 잘 준비해서 좀 더 새로운 거를 만들어야 될 것 같고 그리고 좀 더 부족했던 거를 좀 더 많이 채워야 될 것 같고 그렇게 하면 또 이제 상대도 저희를 이제 간파하기 좀 어려워질 것 같아서 저희가 남은 시간을 잘 활용해서 그런 강점을 많이 이용해야 될 것 같아요. 다른 팀한테 없는.
Utility's just going to be so much to deal with. Buzz killed himself. Falls to his own nade, but Zest makes it okay. Keeps him in it. And Zest gets 3.
다른 팀한테 없는 그런 많은 시간을 잘 이용해서 저도 괜찮고 저도 어차피 패자조 가서 이기면 된다라는 마인드로 저희가 졌다고 너무 분위기가 다운만 안 되면은 패자조 가서도 혹은 1맵을 지든 2맵을 지든 다음 맵에서 좀 더 힘을 발휘할 수 있을 것 같아요. 죽음의 조에서 올라온 DRX이기 때문에 절대 쉽지 않은 경기일 거예요. 그래서 아무래도 좀 준비를 단단히 하고 오는 게 좋을 것 같습니다. 저희는 그 어느 팀을 만나든 아주 강력하기 때문에 잘 준비하고 오십시오.
For DRX working through the gauntlet that they did, they seem to walk away from that a little bit more weathered, perhaps a little bit more grisly.
Yeah.
And that's what gotten them to this point in a situation where most teams crumble, down 10-2 at half. They made a run at it. Now they find themselves on the receiving end of something special where Billy have made a run at this.
I love that from Buzz too. It's like he predicted the comeback on that first map. He said, we're trying to work on having that ability.
Oh, it worked. Time invested. Remember the long break that they had. If that was their intent, if that was their focus, job well done.
Zest did use a molly here to prevent them from taking backside, to use this, keep this wall up, but Billy wants to flood behind it too.
This is so messy. It's a 5v5 for the site.
Where is he?
And they've left Buzz tucked, but they know he's there. Young YZ. A 2K for both. And RB's now just starting to rotate onto the site. And it's not going to work out. Billy with the ever crucial pistol.
It's a really cool round from DRX, but Billy with the better response. So talking about preparation there at halftime. Both sides know exactly what to do in this situation. The fact that molly goes down signals to Billy. Okay, they don't want us backside. Let's wait until they take it and then really pinch them from all sides. YZ's first initial push, fantastic. And DRX is playing solo Killjoy towards A on both sides. Both the pistol and this one. No orb to even support him there.
Look where Yosemite and Rin are right now.
Yeah, they're chilling in spawn.
Yeah. They're so far back.
Yosemite's just on top of, like, under his turret.
Masih tembak-tembakin aja, masih diterus semua.
Some pressure and some aggression from the defense. It just never comes.
It's interesting too because it was the right choice at the beginning of the round, but with the pressure up C long, DRX has chosen not to actually stay around in garage, stay around in mid. It looked like they might go for a similar push to what Billy was trying on their own ecos.
I believe RB spotted some of the players down long.
Kani? Wah, bener
I guess
lah.
not fully convinced that that's where the hit's coming from. Now he knows. I mean, he's stunned up. He's not going to be able to get off site. He's paranoid. He's flashback sight. Managing to find comfort in the smoke, but eventually cleaned up nonetheless.
It's so difficult to stay on site there when that paranoia is coming in, the stun's coming in, breaking the dart is difficult by yourself. You can see him panic on all directions there. Nothing he can do to get off.
Here.
It's just like waiting for death.
Oh, perfectly timed. One way, but he just walks into it. They're flooding out right now, and it doesn't matter anyways.
Anjir, nggak lihat.
They're trying, just not the case. Billy somehow, after the disaster that we saw in the opening at Haven, have tied us up at 7.
This is a streak of their own right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start counting the other way at this point.
I was just remembering, how far did I get?
18.
Not enough fingers.
They've won 6 in a row, 7 of the last 8. Going back to that first half, and again, I've got to draw attention to this because it's happened 3 times now. Every team and a half has won the bonus when they've had the opportunity to do so. 3 for 3. Can Billy continue that streak?
The fact that this is already tied is commendable for Billy right away, because other teams who lose that first map like that, they crumble. We've seen it before against DRX against Furia back at Champions. It was a massive comeback to bring it back to OT and win instantly. And that second map, devastating. Here though, Billy still holding on. And potentially could take the lead if they win the bonus.
Aduh, dapat sih tapi.
Definitely favors the attackers in most cases, but Yosemite down means flanks are going to be possible. Wonder if DRX wants to start to go for it, but without Buzz, usually that's the guy who would go for some aggressive pushes.
Right.
They found Mako alone here though. And again, same situation, he's going to make a TP play up close to the orb.
Tetap ketahuan Recon.
Much like we saw in the previous round. Stacks pop, flashing out of the smoke, doing it on his own.
Banget Stacks.
And they've gotten a shot at this. They've kept this very competitive. Brent's going to have to do it on his own. A 1v2 RB weak. Waiting for the challenge on the other side, and DRX throw the brakes on it, understanding the onus is on Rain to swing out and make something happen. Zest get 3, DRX take the lead back.
Zest has been phenomenal in this series. 15-9 right now, but in particular, throwing that molly as they go for the flood actually lands perfectly onto one of the players from Billy. Vulnerables them up, makes it difficult for them to position themselves, which is one of the key strengths out of this Billy side. You see, actually 2 mollies thrown out.
Nice banget sih.
Landing perfectly. One on default and one where the Jet normally dashes. That fast flood as well, getting the flash onto YZ. Something that YZ's been getting caught out a lot by.
Oh, they've set Buzz up here.
Buzz nge-push lagi nih.
Now spotting both. Well handled, dancing around and trying to isolate the gunfights, but that's all it is for now. K-Knight has the Rolling Thunder.
Drone traded by Trailblazer, keeping the space here by Stacks.
Tawan.
Well done. And the drone doesn't get info about exactly what's on the other side, because that's instantly re-cleared. Mako denies any more information from being gathered. Breach ult though, and they're playing up close. It's gonna be really bad for DRX.
That flash didn't hit.
Look how back he's playing right here to make sure that he's hitting the player in short.
It didn't hit Buzz. Oh my goodness, it didn't hit Buzz. They're gonna check him. No,
ya,
they don't.
Buzz
goes
ketahuan padahal ya.
Stacks gets another. DRX refused to relent on the site. K-Knight left by himself.
Wow, dikiranya si Buzz udah pindah.
The setup man now having to play getaway.
Wah, sulit kan? Sulit coy.
He can't.
And Buzz has just gotten away with the round. Just crazy. He just tucked himself into that smoke. And once again, A different smoke from Zest. He's throwing a lineup from spawn at the beginning of the round so he can set up on C as well. So spreading his Viper Util really wide and allowing somewhere to play for Buzz. Normally that smoke is going in between the default box and short. And here he's using it on long instead for that moment right there. It's simple things.
Nice, DRX, ayo.
Just when it seemed like DRX was in trouble. I mean, the site exec looked so good. There was really no way, right, that they were going to survive. You know, somebody even started to check the corner.
He spammed it too. I mean, Buzz got down to 29 instantly off a shot through the smoke.
And the timing to just turn away.
Everybody ran past him even after he was getting those kills because you thought he was running away from his smoke. No, he stayed inside.
I mean, the chaos in a situation like that to try to keep your wits about you is so difficult.
Even to get the right information. Two here players hitting the site during an execute like that. Comms have to be clean, crisp. Not quite there for Billy. And they will use their final timeout of the potentially series here. I'm still, sometimes I'm looking at the score, I'm looking at the series score, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. Billy losing this map would be okay. No, because I had already written into my head, yeah, for sure they won that. And we heard from the desk too, that Lotus game was the biggest comeback after a 10-2 half. And DRX might own the majority of biggest comebacks ever at global events.
Yeah, they've had their fair share of them.
It's ridiculous. I've seen 9-3s from them, obviously, with the curse. The 10-2s as well. We just saw exactly that.
9, Billy 7. Oke,
now here on Haven, they're putting down a comeback attempt from Billy.
Kedua.
And they've actually kind of forced a weird situation to buy. It's Stingers, it's Knives, gonna be popped from YZ.
Just the one rifle in the hands of K-Knight.
And there's definitely not as much nuance here in the Billy attack side that we were seeing on Lotus.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
It's a lot harder for them to, ooh, they're just gonna pop, maybe push through Garage. Yeah, he's going for it. Well, it's instantly denied by Zest of all people again.
The Blades blunted, the hit on the other side falls too.
Irin apaan dah?
K-Knight with a nice trade onto Mako, but whatever attempt they had at trying to catch him sleeping,
Gak
just
bisa
does not manifest.
A cool attempt, but very low success rate.
Yeah.
One attempted to push your jet into B, into C link to go for a garage pinch on that. And there was not even smokes there from Rin to really assist with that. It's just, why is he trying to do it on his own? Look at this. That one smoke, but not a follow-up on to spawn, and then Rin TPing. We've seen him so many times TP in front of DRX players. Maybe hoping for his teammates to get the kill so he can go for a fast push through garage. Would catch him off guard. Speaking of off guard, they're going to go for another C push, maybe a dash. Yeah, dash through from YZ.
They've taken the space. What do BLG do off of this? Do they understand what they've lost, and do they try to pounce elsewhere?
Yeah, Buzz. So much control. They should have heard the stun. They should have heard everything, and they should have seen the wall swap, but I'm not even sure they've got that info yet.
I don't think so.
Nobody peeking mid, only a turret, so they might not. And once again, that orb swapped back to give room for RB to play in short instead. Everything's so well considered from DRX on this defense.
I mean, they've got him corralled and controlled.
Buzz early info, yeah, no damage done to him. And this wall actually supports him quite good.
Mundur, Buzz mundur.
Just a question of how much gas is left in Viper's tank and when that wall goes up.
Might not be any, actually. They're through it.
Yeah. Fully disrespecting the wall, the aftershock backside. You hear the ult come through as they try to clear Buzz off this area. Mako has joined him.
Smoke lasts forever. They just hold on to the backside. It's so nice.
Are they gonna do this? Yeah, they are. They're intent on trying to take the site, and so far, so good.
30 seconds.
Billy have dropped 3. Make that 4. RB left alone.
Keculik satu
We've seen him in
persatu.
situations like this so often. A 1vx when the round seems like it's done. But can RB inject some magic into a situation where a couple of members are weak? No. Billy with another.
Mako there succumbing to what Rin just did. He TP backside where Billy players were ready for them. It's very difficult to deal with. In that situation, Mako throwing his smoke down, trying to play. You can see it right there on your screen. Mako, as the smoke collapses, is trying to get an advantage as Stacks fills the space that he leaves. But either way, Billy is so comfortable hitting the site, realizing they don't get the space that they really need, waiting for a little bit, and then pushing even further. And that's another example of that. Beautiful freeze.
Buzz with the op. And they very well might end here. They've taken some main control, but concerned about short.
Tuh mulai
No setup here.
mulai low
You see the
ya.
respect that both jets are showing one another.
Yeah, this is interesting
Sumpah,
right now. I think
gila.
Billy is
Kenapa
concerned with the
ya?
fact that they smoke their turret.
Jam segini
They're
banget.
exited, so they don't have information about what's down mid, so that's why
mainnya
they slow down a little bit on
kenapa
A.
nggak sorean aja gitu?
Oh my god, oh finally
Ya, ini
spots
sore
him.
sih di sana sih, cuma
Just at the very end.
di sini
Should have seen
gitu.
the op in his hands too. Trailblazer to maybe get him back on the line, and if it goes deep enough, he might get back and get all the info. Mako needs to stay alive though.
It's going to be difficult to do. 31 HP, no armor left, but he TPs and stays alive. Now Billy rotating towards C. Yosemite, the only one who's taken some damage so far for the attacking side. Note here, Zest is ahead of this. He's already rotated over. The Molly again from the Viper to cause some problems on the flood out from Billy, but they managed to circumvent it for now. RB 45 HP tucked behind the wall, trying to find some space. Again, this is madness. Almost every single player is just standing here on the site. There's nothing but smokes and walls keeping them apart from one another. And as soon as it goes down, it's going to be a bloodbath. 1 for 1 early on. Sack's looking for another, but it's BLG once again. Who established control, but do they know Mako's here? He can stop the round by himself. He's gonna swing on it with the spike planted. Mako with 3 and the round is over. DRX with another.
Gila anjir.
And he gets the final kill through the spam. He's just trying to deny the plant. I don't even know if he knew what was going on. Either way, if he doesn't get that, Buzz is so far away in that 1v1. Really difficult. BLG losing track of how many players were backside. I'm pretty sure they saw Mako early in that, wall, when the smoke all fell.
I can't believe that. Yosemite was so weak.
Anjir.
The free kill, the spam through the box. We've talked so much about streaks in this series. DRX have won 4 of the last 5. They've re-established control in the face of a ferocious attempt at a comeback from Billy.
And Billy has slowed down so much since those early attempts.
Yeah.
Remember, they were just throwing things at the wall in terms of pushing B on their ecos, trying to up the pace. But they're realizing that's the wrong strategy. And at this point, you start to second guess any ideas of what you have on the game.
Here.
They're so consistently being put in that position on C where they just can't push further through the Viper wall.
Baru dapat nih. Hati-hati coy.
And we saw the beginning of the half start in exactly that fashion.
What do they do to counter this? It seems like they want to set up for a flush out of garage, but I mean, RB is going to step back on the smoke. You got the fault line set up from K-Knight for them to dash out forward. You've got the paranoia set up too.
Oh, pit reactively, but there's an ult coming out from the up right now. Does he tag anything?
They haven't gotten out onto site.
No.
Dude, DRX have handled this so well.
30 seconds and they have to pivot. They can't go C
Mana
anymore.
anjir BLG?
There's no way to flush Zest out.
But they've left Yosemite as a trap. A trick! Oh, where did that shot go? That looked like it was going to be between his eyes. Buzz sticking around.
Aduh, Buzz.
And he pays for it. That's Billy. It seemed labored, it seemed late, but they roll over DRX. Can Zest 1v4 this? What's the money situation look like? Spotty. Buzz has a bit to go around.
Just bisa apa anjir ini 40.
Maybe they take a shot at this, but he's just gonna save this.
40 HP.
Not wanting to give a orb over to K-Knight. To Yosemite, who's very close to his lockdown too.
Toxin screen down.
A 20-second decision to push back out of garage and into B. Into the hot. Buzz with a crucial missed shot.
Ajuin nih satu.
I mean, Andy, to take a look at that one more because that looked on.
Yeah, could come back to haunt him for sure.
And then the decision to stay.
Try to deal. Oh, whoa.
What?
Huh?
What happened there?
Did he have a gun? Yeah. That's question mark.
Where did he die?
Just to the spike down bottom grass.
Yeah, but
There's that mission. Oh my god. I'd be so mad.
There's a hole in his hood now.
Unlucky banget.
And then just ripping them apart with the insert in garage too.
Oh, bro.
That's just not.
That's silly.
No reaction. Love it.
No reaction.
2 rounds keeping these two teams apart. DRX still with control, the op in the hands of Buzz, but they're going fast towards A. And that's not where they are. YZ with blades. The first one found. He's got to drop down. But K-Knight's there to help. Can Zess once again be the anchor? Can it be too much? He's already gotten 2. He tries to pop out.
What?
Zess
almost with 4.
I swear every series that guy has game-saving multi-kills. And it might just have happened again. Buzz and Mako on the retake. Mako's been great. Buzz with the op, though, is going to find it difficult to get value.
Kena nih. Kena nih 2 nih.
Maybe both? Buzz has knives.
That is both. You're right. But the dash forward, he clears hell first. Leaving Bianc by himself, and Buzz snatches it back.
Nice banget.
Beautifully set up by Mako. The paranoia was pixel perfect.
That's the difficult situation when you go for that setup. It's so consistent at getting value normally. Setting up the crossfire in dark, in graffiti. And I don't know how that takes down K-Knight. That's just ridiculous.
Dude, holy zest, man. What a hold.
A rock.
Yep.
I call him that all the time, but he really is. And DRX is on match point, not match point, series point. Upper bracket semi-final point. A team who gets there almost every time. Here they are again. No strangers to it. And definitely no strangers to closing out maps like this.
Billy do have some tools, though. They've got the Rolling Thunder, Reynez is ult, currently with the Spike, but you see the buy, Bianc with the Spectre.
And they've swapped up this wall again, don't forget. The Viper wall in front of B, to garage and down bottom C. It hasn't worked in the past. That's a lot of info.
3 spotted with that Trailblazer.
And that's from C-Link. I mean, that thing went far. Drone to get him up close. Mako with the smoke. They're not going to rely on that delay. Remember, they can't without the Viper wall. So Mako maybe has 1 assist smoke.
Crosshair train, and once again, the miss, but he somehow dodges it once more, dashing forward. Trying to find space, and Mako with 2. But Ren on the counter, punching right back.
Mako was full stunned in that situation. Zest is fast.
Again.
Okay.
Can Zest be the hero for DRX once more?
Just gets the kill and backs off. Playing this very well, but here's the freeze from Billy. Can they find any way to maybe TP it on the other side? Maybe, if Bianc goes aggressive.
But you leave him here by himself? No, they're going to dig their heels in, at least I thought, towards C. A reposition to play down long.
Bianc thinks he can play. Yeah, they're playing away from the Killjoy lockdown.
Oh, he's got 2 shocks, too.
Oh, where's he
Ren, where are you headed?
Remember, K-Knight on Lotus was so good at finding the proper spots,
but is so safe.
He's not even using it through B. Too scared. It's not planted for long, remember, but actually putting that threat in their head.
It is, and he's got shocks, but he's not using them. He's just going to try to spam through it. RB's going to be able to hold it the whole way. There was not enough. RB sticks it. DRX survived the best possible shot that BLG throw their way in advance.
Ente ya BLG.
Up into that upper bracket, semi-final.
Ente.
It is exactly where they belong. DRX not only prove that they can stay deep with resilience against teams who are definitely putting up fights, but on top of that, they prove, once again, we saw yesterday with Loud, that the group of death was very, very real.
Billy takes the stage and drop a bow, but the important thing to remember is that there's still a lower bracket run, and for Billy, it feels like a team that learned with every single
thank
thing
you
that
ya
goes their
yang
way.
udah nonton match BLG dan
We thought maybe
DRX
NRG
ini.
or just a weaker form,
Kita
but
bakal
man,
lanjut
did they
ke
push
EDG lawan
DRX?
EG kalau masih kuat ya.
Just insanely
Jadi,
good for Billy.
Yang
But even better for DRX.
match ini udah dulu sampai sini ya.
It's just
Makasih
crazy.
udah nonton,
Surprises
udah
after
like,
surprises.
udah subscribe.
A lot of people thought DRX was not
Sampai
going to show
jumpa
up at
di
this
live
tournament.
berikutnya.
I
Moga
mean,
enjoy
when
ini
we
live
saw
ini ya.
that group, it was like,
Thank
oh,
you
we don't really care.
banget.
It was an exciting